This is Surge, and he is currently the global #1 player, resetting well within the top 10 of Legends League. So today, we're going to take a look at some of his attacks, because he's actually been using my exact Root Rider strategy, which is really awesome to hear. So without further ado, let's get into the first attack. Alright, so the first replay that we're going to be taking a look at is this base right here from TW Tep Gaming. I'm sure you guys have seen this base before, which is why I wanted to show you how he was able to triple this base, because it is really annoying. This base is absolutely no joke. Also, Surge does not have any socials, but he did ask me to give a shout out to his clan, Deathstrike, so a massive shout out to their clan. You can go and check them out in the link in the description of the video, and also a shout out to Norway. But he goes with the RC charge into the Wizard Tower here. He wants to get down this Rage Tower. Now, interestingly, he does use the Earthquake spell on the RC charge. I've had a couple of people ask me, when can I be using the Earthquake spell on the RC charge? And normally, if you're going for quite an ambitious Spirit charge, such as what Surge is doing here, trying to take down an entire Rage Tower, that is when you are going to be using the Earthquake spell with the RC charge. Anyways, as you can see, he unfortunately doesn't quite reach that Crusher Mortar, which probably was the biggest target for him in this RC charge. But overall, thinking about the principles of the RC charge that I taught you guys in my RC charge guide, probably about a month ago now, he did get the value, he did set the path for his Root Riders, and he did keep his Spirit Fox and his RC nice and safe. He now switches to the Troop Launcher because there isn't a whole lot of Log Launcher value on this base. Seeing as it's a ring base, probably ring bases, you know, they don't tend to have the best value. Now, of course, the Crusher Mortar is being incredibly annoying, and it's hitting. He has to freeze it. Pops the Eternal Tome on top of that, maybe just a little bit early, but again, he doesn't want that Crusher Mortar to take down his Warden and then potentially, you know, force his Warden ability, and then he'll quickly lose the Warden afterward. He now goes with the Overgrowth spell, leaving the Monolith up. I think maybe a tiny mistake, but obviously he doesn't want that Scatter Shot to be raged up and hitting him. Remember, if you have seen my Rage Base Guide video, I always say you need to try and section up the damage with your Overgrowth spells. Basically, you know, not allowing the Rage Tower to get the maximum amount of value that it can possibly get. And that is why, in this case, Surge decided to Overgrowth that Scatter Shot, so that he could deal with the Scatter Shot later into the attack, where it wouldn't be raged up and doing that additional damage. Hopefully that makes sense, but as you guys can see, this base is pretty smashed. I think, unfortunately, the RC does go down in just a moment here, maybe to that Wizard Tower or the Tesla, but could have easily swagged the King ability on this one, and very well played from Surge here. Let's just watch the final buildings fall before it does come to a 100% 3-star. Nice triple overall, but now let's get into the next attack. Okay, so the next base that we're going to watch is Dark on Top's base, if you guys know him. Pretty famous base builder. I believe he also does YouTube now. I'm not 100% sure, but this is his base. I'm sure you guys have seen this style of base before, and probably this base exactly, although it has been tweaked quite a number of times. As you can see, I think the biggest change on this base here was that the Merge Cannon has been moved from where the Dark Elixir storage is right now. But Surge decides to Spirit Walk into this Bomb Tower section. I assume he's aiming for one of those Poison Towers, because, of course, the Poison Towers are very strong in the current meta, because they work against Warden charges, they work against Root Riders, they work against Dragons, and that is why people are using Poison bases right now. Seeing how diverse the meta is, you know, we do have a lot of Dragon attackers, we do have a lot of Fireball attackers, although the meta maybe does still need a bit more diversity in terms of Super Hogs, or, you know, something like that. Anyways, he decides to recall now. Unfortunately, it does not finish off the Poison Tower there, but it's not that big of a deal. He then goes with the Log Launcher, Giant Arrow, placing the Earthquake spell first. Again, he wants to distract those builder huts and make sure that they aren't going to be healing up those buildings that he actually wants to take down. Gets a nice freeze there onto the Minion Prince, and then sends the Root Riders to the right hand side of the Log Launcher. Now, Furnace is lured. Log Launcher, unfortunately, is just barely not hitting the Furnace there. I don't know if he poisons. I think probably because he's so close to the Furnace, he can just let the RC take it down in a moment and save his poison spell at a later date, which is what he is going to do. He's going to go ahead and poison the enemy queen there over on the left hand side of the base. Now he's just going right into this core Pops the Eternal Tome, then he's going to be going for his Overgrowth spell. Yeah, exactly, on that Fire Spitter. That is facing him. Plenty of spells, though. The Warden is really kind of selling, leaving the Root Riders in the core. He wanted the Eternal Tome and the Rage Gem to obviously be on the healers, and instead the Warden has decided to follow the Yetis and the Queen. Why? I will never know. Some people have different explanations to what the Warden does and how he follows troops and how his AI works. Personally, I think they should just make the Warden not completely stupid. That would be really helpful. Anyways, things do get a little tight here. He goes ahead and he freezes the Monolith, but you can see the RC is able to stay alive. He has plenty of spell support, and again, still has the King ability for cleanup, and probably easily could have swagged the King ability once again. Unfortunately, the RC does die, and that makes things seem a little bit less crushed, and also the Warden goes down. But a triple nonetheless. Let's get into the next one. Okay, so the next replay that we're going to take a look at is from Thao v Sammy. Obviously, I think Vietnamese. Bin Tan, if I had to guess. Anyways, you guys have probably seen this space before. I believe maybe Mammoth or Hawk, DZ Hawk, was using this space, I think. And it got quite popular from that. Could be wrong, but he's going to go ahead and Spurwalk into the Wizard Tower at the 12 o'clock compartment here. And he's going to go into Small Arch Tower. And so, obviously, aiming for one of those, either the Fire Spitter or the Poison Tower. Currently has the Log Launcher selected and gets a little unlucky there with the Fox. Actually does stay... No, just kidding. I was going to say stay alive, and it does die. Because of that slight mess up there with the Invis. A little bit unlucky, but what can you do? Then he's going to go ahead and recall now. I assume he's going to Log Launcher into the Monolith. Yes, he's going to go with the Skeleton spell, of course. Log Launcher, Arrow, and then the Earthquake spell. Guys, you want to be placing down your Earthquake spell first, because now the two Builder Huts are actually targeting the Mono, or at least one of them is. You want to go with the Earthquake spell first so that the Builder Huts stay kind of distracted. Anyways, you can see just how long it takes for the Mono to go down because of that one Builder Hut, right? Guys, place your Earthquake spell down first. Anyways, he's going to go into this compartment here. Obviously, being able to avoid both of the Fire Spitters is quite nice. It looks like the CC is coming out now. And yeah, he's just kind of cruising at the moment. Looks like he pops the Eternal Tome now. Probably trying to counteract the damage from that Poison Tower a little bit. And obviously, things are splitting up a little bit. So yeah, there we go. He goes with the Overgrowth spell onto that Ricochet Cannon. Crushing Mortar is doing its daily task of absolutely smashing your attack in less than 5 seconds. But it should go down shortly, or not. Just kidding, there's the Diggy. Nice, okay, doesn't get any more shots off. Still has that King ability. I think the King is going to die here in just a second to that Crushing Mortar. Or, sorry, no, not Crushing Mortar. What's that thing called? Merge Cannon? Don't know. Anyways, you can see, still has an Invis spell. Unfortunately, the RC kind of runs a little bit ahead and gets targeted by that Ricochet Cannon. I think overall he's looking pretty good here. He needs to be careful of his RC going down. And obviously the Queen's losing health. And for some reason the healers, I don't even know what they're healing. But yeah, as you can see, RC, Queen, Warden alive. All the roots died, but this base is tricky. And this is the exact approach that I do on this base. Personally, where is the RC and the Warden going right now? Wait, what? Why did they go over there? Did I miss something? Oh, who cares? It was a 3-star. Let's now get into the final replay right now. Okay, so when I say final replay, I mean the final replay from one of Surge's attacks. Then I'm going to go ahead and show you guys, I think, 2 of my replays from my previous Legend Stay, which I wouldn't have made a video out of. I think I've cracked one of, a really annoying base, so I want to show you guys that approach so you can use that in your attacks. Remember, guys, you can always look on my videos in the timestamps, and every single video, all in my attacks, I timestamp double poison, double rage, ring base, box base, diamond base. So if you are struggling on a certain style of base, the best way to learn how to attack that base is go through my old videos and look at the timestamps and see, is there a double poison diamond base here, for example, and see how I was able to attack it. Maybe I failed, maybe I didn't. Anyways, looks like he is going to be going in on this base right here. Very scary base, right? I've failed this base twice now. The only 2 times that I've attacked it. Both of my approaches absolutely sucked. But yeah, he goes into this compartment here. Obviously, gets a little bit baited. I know that the bait is there for future reference. Then I think afterwards he goes for the log launcher into the monolith. I have never done that, and it makes me think I probably should have done that, right? But I mean, I don't know. It looks quite clean, and obviously, I don't know, maybe it triples, maybe it doesn't, who knows. So Earthquake's the mono, also trying to reach over, you know, the range spell and that Inferno Tower, and the log launcher is just so perfectly set up. Obviously, the Minion Prince is going to be targeting it any second now. Yeah, a bit unfortunate. So he sends in 2 add-ons for that Minion Prince, then goes with the Root Riders into this Giga Bomb compartment over here. You can see at the top side of the base there, the Rage Tower has triggered. I don't know why I'm not showing it. There we go. Obviously, he freezes the Crusher Mortar before it literally kills everything because it is raged up right now. And so, as you guys know, the Crusher Mortar is scary, even when it's not raged up. And when it's raged up, it's literally probably the most broken defense we've ever had in Clash of Clans. I'm just going to say it. I'm just going to say it right now. When it's raged up, it's probably the most broken defense ever in Clash of Clans. So, yeah. Cool, you can see over goes the other side Rage Tower, making sure he can deal with that damage whilst it's not raged up. Now, he's getting a really awkward split here, and I think this is where things start to fizzle out a little bit. You can see the Root Riders go down to that multi-arch tower, but all the heroes kind of leave the Root Riders, and so, you know, that's not exactly ideal. He pops the King ability, obviously trying to keep things moving forward, and yeah, unfortunately, because those Root Riders kind of split, they are going to just die. He has an Archer over by that gold mine to the right-hand side of the screen. And yeah, things end up getting a little close, as I say, because those Root Riders splitting just was a little bit unfortunate. I guess it's only natural on this style of base, but overall a really clean attack from Mr. Surge here. And as you can see, 5, 4, 3, okay, whatever. So now I'm going to show you guys 2 replays from one of my previous war days, and then we're going to end up the video. So let's get into the first replay. Okay, so diving right into the first replay of mine, we're up against this double rage base, which I'm sure you guys have probably seen maybe 100,000 times. Now, probably most of you guys will know the approach for this one, but I thought of something, I tried it. I was attacking on my phone, and this is on my alt account. As you guys know, I use this account normally for streams. If I want to do my hits, I can do a stream from these hits. But yesterday, I was on the road, so I had to do my hits on my phone. A little bit harder to do, obviously, but look, I want to try something new for this base, and I wanted to share it with you guys because it's a great approach. So the first thing that I do, obviously, as you can see, is try to Spirit Walk down a portion of this Fire Spitter rage compartment. The other compartment has the 2 scatter shots. This compartment has the 2 Fire Spitters. I go for one last invis, and I decide to recall when that Giga Bomb triggers. Then at this point, I go with the Earthquake spell, the Giant Arrow, and then the Ice Golem, the Log Launcher. You can tell I'm a little bit slow. You want to do your Ice Golems first, and obviously that means that my Giant took quite a lot of damage. But you can see I am on, you know, phone, and it is a lot harder. Also on this account, I don't have this the Frosty, I have the Yak instead. Anyways, you can see the Log Launcher is quickly able to take down the Crusher Mortar. Now, all I do now, once I've taken down this Rage Tower and that Crusher Mortar, plus the CC, I'm waiting for this Rage Tower to trigger, and I just overgrowth it like that, and worry about it later, effectively. Now, remember when I said that I was attacking on my phone, and so, you know, things are a lot harder to do. I actually thought I already popped my Eternal Tome for some reason. I don't know why. But as you can see, I still have the Eternal Tome. I think I thought I popped it around about that Rage compartment. So, maybe on accident, you could say, but I did actually end up swagging the Eternal Tome on this base and tripling it in just above 2 minutes. So, I'd highly recommend, if you guys do find this base, that you do use this approach. Definitely seems to be the best approach. You can see I'm a little bit late on the free spell there, trying to save the queen. Again, because I'm on the phone and it's a lot harder. And yeah, you can see I actually swagged my Warn ability on Legends mode against a really tricky style of base. For me personally, you know, double rage ring bases, quite tricky to crack. But there you go. Now you guys know how to triple it. Let's get into the next replay. Okay, so the next hit I want to show you guys is, again, has a purpose. I found, oh my gosh, that Coral I'm outside is so annoying. Hopefully you guys can't hear it. I found a different approach. I can't even hear myself think. Okay, look him. I found a new approach with the Fire Spitters. All you want to do is, when you have the Diamond base, where you have the Town Hall on the top side with the Fire Spitters kind of facing into that core compartment and facing away from the Town Hall, I actually think using the Troop Launcher is best, right? Most of the Log Launchers are going to be quite risky into the Crusher Mortar on this base specifically. You can see I use a couple rocket balloons to push my RC into this poison tower compartment here. Then I kind of avoid the poison tower. Again, I want to get a little bit more value with my RC charge, but at the same time, kind of maintaining the safety of our Fox and our RC. And as you can see, that's where it went really clean. Then I go with my Queen. This time I'm not doing a log launcher though. As I say, I switched to the troop launcher. Basically what I'm trying to do is just avoid both of the fire spitters. Now it doesn't really work. I really need like a super wall breaker with this army, but I've got obviously 2 super troops already. Then I go with the Overgrowth spell first. I've been liking to use the Overgrowth spell first and then the Eternal Tome. And I think you should be using your Overgrowth spell kind of at the start of the attack to kind of really control the pathing. I feel like mostly you want to try and deal with the CC when your troops are on a lot of damage, right? Which is why I think doing the Overgrowth spell first is actually a lot better than what I've been doing previously. Anyways, you can see I used the Earthquake spell there, just kind of damaged the core a little bit, and I popped the Eternal Tome. I also popped the King ability, which actually ended up being really good. And you can see the Fire Spit is slightly annoying. Again, if I had a wall breaker, I would have got my King in there. And I just freeze the Crusher Mortar, and literally the base is gone in about 2 minutes, right? And so in future Legends days, in future Legends videos, I will be testing out the whole Overgrowth first, then Eternal Tome, and the Troop Launcher, and kind of introducing that into my attacks a little bit more, rather than trying to force the log launcher onto every base. But yeah, I think this approach is looking pretty good. Again, I'll do some more Legends hits later in the month of me doing this. But let's now get into the recap for today's video. Okay, boys, so I hope you did enjoy this video. Massive shout out to Surge, and I hope you guys did enjoy watching some of his replays. You can find the army link in the description of the video. And remember, if you want coaching from me or my Legends bases, you can join my Discord server and also check out my Patreon page. Both of those should be linked in the description. But thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you for another banger tomorrow. Goodbye.